Hi, this is Ming from Project Blackbird. Welcome to our True Names listening party. And thank you for joining us, whether it's in real time on November 22nd, 2024, or at some point in the future. Please feel free to join in the premiere chat and leave a comment below if you are moved to do so. The fact that you are here means a lot to us. True Names is our third full-length album as Project Blackbird. It's been a long time in the making, and much has happened during its gestation, but it's finally here, and we are really proud to share it with you. Before we kick things off, a few credits and thank yous. First of all, our band is made up of 5 wonderful people and musicians: multi-instrumentalist John Reed, multi-instrumentalist Jamie Varley, guitarist Alan Roberts, drummer Eddie Dublin, and vocalist and lyricist me, Ming Nagel. For this album, however, we effectively had a 6th member of the band in the form of our very talented and hardworking mixing engineer and co-producer Dave Titmarsh. Dave is based at Phoenix Studios in Leicester, and we are indebted to his technical and creative insight and his hours and hours of graft in the studio, both on his own and at any given moment, with the rest of us throwing our 5 cents in. We are also grateful for Dave's calm and patient disposition, an essential quality for the job. Thank you to Thomas Dunker, Marla Mays, and James Della Tacoma, founders of True Groove Records, who had enough faith in us and our music to put us on their very cool New York-based independent label. Thanks to Thomas and True Groove for hooking us up remotely with Half Pint, a rapper and educator who brought fire to our track 115th Street. True Groove also connected us with the legendary Michael Fossenkemper, who did a fabulous job mastering the whole album from his studio in the States. The True Names CDs and double gatefold vinyl records are not just a collection of songs. They are pieces of art in their own right, thanks to our extraordinary friend, Chloe Bates, also known as Chloe Sabini on Instagram. Chloe, who is a musician herself, created a bespoke piece of art for us, originally the rough dimensions of a large dining room table. She worked at the time from what she already knew of our music, the song lyrics and themes I had conveyed to her, and her own fertile imagination. All this while completing a fine arts degree. We then brought in another local musician and artist, Jim Tetlow, to work on adapting the artwork to an album cover and liner notes design and layout, and later to work on 2 unique merchandise designs based on Chloe's original artwork. From a personal perspective, the collaborative art and design sessions with Chloe and Jim have been a real highlight of the whole process for me. And every reveal, as I've taken their work back to the band, has been the best kind of gift giving and unwrapping. We're also thrilled with the quality of the CDs, which were replicated by Media Duplication Limited, based in Lutterworth, and with the vinyl, pressed by Press On Vinyl, based in Middlesbrough. I'd like to point out that the Eco Mix vinyl discs are made from recycled vinyl records, and that the resultant colors and nuances are random and mysterious, a bit like us. Thank you to the wonderful Lydia Wood, who has applied her own artistic eye, impeccable style, and considerable skills to our social media campaigns. The final thank you for now is to John, without whose drive, ambition, and time this album may never have come about, or at least not within this decade. A big thank you also to John for responding to popular demand, mainly from me, and creating another full album set of lyrics videos for this listening party to accompany the Bandcamp and hard copy releases of True Names. Some of you might be wondering about the title of the album, so finally, before we get to the songs, here's a quick note about the concept of True Names, which comes courtesy of the writer Ursula K. Le Guin. In Le Guin's fictional realm of Earthsea, identity is multifaceted and enigmatic. There are selves and shadow selves, and a living thing's true name, its essence, is a source of profound power, vulnerability, and consequence. To be given another's true name is to exchange that gift that only a friend can give, proof of unshaken, unshakable trust. To give one's own true name is to allow oneself to be seen, to be heard, and to be truly known. Though only the lyrics of the title track are directly inspired by Le Guin's writing, each of these 12 songs has its own identity and its own set of truths to share. We hope that you find something of yourself in here too. This brings us to the songs. Track 1. Songwriting on this album was more democratic and collaborative than on our previous records, and John, Jamie, Alan, and Eddie were each respectively the main music writer and composer, the band member who brought the musical idea to the group and took the lead on its development for one or more of the songs that follow. I should add that our process usually consists of the music first and lyrics afterwards. Now, some would say this is due to my procrastination gene, but I find that the instrumentation, structure, and melodies inspire a unique writing mindset, and that the process of lyric writing for a band is very different from that of writing non-music prose or poetry. All of the lyrics videos that you'll see in this listening party were arranged and edited by our very own John. But there is also an official video for this track on our channel that was filmed by Jay Hillier at his studio in Melton Mowbray. Thank you, Jay. Jamie, reflecting upon how this song began, says that his original intent was to create a ska reggae vibe and a simple bass line you can play without looking at what you're doing. The lyrics are a love letter to the country of Iceland and a brief rumination on past lives and the elasticity of time. The title is the translation of a phrase which Icelanders use to greet old friends when they encounter them again. Here is "Thank You for Last Time."
Everything that I adore in this isolated world, fates and furies, nights unfurl. Time fiction, mounds of grey moss in the fields, reptiles swelling to reveal cracks of their tectonic scales. Time fiction, outer space must pale in comparison to this otherworldly landscape of darkening bliss. I head to sands that are still belted by a sash of volcanic boulders. It's strange to be back again, 20 years on and feeling much older, like looking in a mirror through a hazy lens, backwards over your shoulder. Later we search for the cottage on the coastline where I stayed. Water's rich in alkaline, right as somnolent, slow, sweet.
too. John was the composer of this next track, which he says emerged from the brass motif, originally performed on keyboards, but ultimately recorded on flugel. It may be one of our poppiest songs on the album, but the lyrics are written from a fairly dark place of disconnection and set within the context of increasingly open conversations about men's mental health. The title is from an offhand, unrelated comment made by our friend Will Lindsay, which he probably won't recall, but which made a lasting impression on me. There was also an official video for this on our YouTube channel, which we had a great time making with Jay Hillier on location. Special thanks to Mendy and Kevin for the use of their extraordinary home. Check it out later if you have time, but for now, please enjoy the lyrics video for Every House Gets Dark When the Sun Goes Down.
My thoughts are a jigsaw. Gotta start at the edges and work your way in. I can't explain, I've forgotten the picture. There's nothing but the surface of a table beneath. And every time I try, pieces go flying. I tip things over just to see
Track 3 is another from John, an atmospheric slow groove patterned in interwoven motifs, which naturally conclude with a bass solo from Jamie. The poignancy and flow of the music seem to lend itself to equally poignant, but quietly hopeful, reflections on the human condition. Here is Equinox.
Here's to the impossible you. Here's to the impossible me. I conjecture every untold manner of truth in the darkest corners of my longing to be someone who I cannot be. Now the path that I seek is converging with the arbitrariness of what I couldn't have known would become defining. Is this what love is? Here's to the impossible you. Here's to the impossible me.
Eddie came to us with the heart, soul, and chords of track 4, written in memory of his sister Carmen. Having written the initial chords and arrangement for Carmen, Eddie says, I wanted to speak with Ming at length about the tribute. I had a sort of eulogy that I thought captured everything Carmen. After discussion and lots of tears, Ming played with some of my words and the song was alive. I was honored to collaborate with Ming on this, as she understood my feelings and what I was trying to say in this track. John tidied my keys playing with some humor. Sorry, John. This, for me, Eddie concludes, was an unbelievable recording, and the whole band couldn't have expressed themselves any better. In light of the album title, True Names, it may be of interest to know that the eponymous Carmen variably means orchard, guard, and song, hence some of the imagery here. The line, "It's only morning and you're still to live your day," comes from one of Carmen's favorite songs by John Holt. Here is Carmen.
Carmen seated in a denim dress raises a glass to the one behind the counter.
Track 5. It's no secret to those who know him that John has a long and close history with reggae. Project Blackbird have always had those influences flickering in the wings, so to speak, but this time John decided to bring the reggae vibes, complete with brass line and dub section, front and center. The lyrics are inspired by the wonderful and traumatizing children's book Sylvester and the Magic Pebble, written by William Stagg and first published in 1969. The story is of a young donkey who discovers a pebble that can make any wish come true. The trouble is, in a moment of solitude and fear, he accidentally uses the pebble to turn himself into a rock, sending his parents and the whole neighborhood into a state of collective anxiety and grief as they search for him. I won't tell you how the book ends, and the song doesn't either. This is The Magic Pebble.
Rain is falling to the ground. A mystery luminous and round. Draws him close without a sound. Until the yearning dares to speak aloud. If you could have anything, whatever you desire, if you could ask for everything, all your hopes and plans, what would be the price you'd pay to finally understand? In his haste, the fear takes hold. Turns his little hoofs to stone. A teardrop falls again, alone, in wishing he has lost the life he's known. If you could have anything, whatever you desire, if you could ask for everything, all your hopes and plans, what would be the price you'd pay to finally understand?
track 6. The title track and album Halfway Point comes from Jamie. He says that it started life as an upbeat song designed for plenty of brass, but in a moment of madness was slowed down to an almost hurdy-gurdy waltz type thing with chords that could be unnerving and almost horror movie-esque, but resolved themselves as right and true. The unnerving and uncanny aspects of the music influenced the song's theme, inspired by the young wizard Ged's epic journey to discover himself in Ursula K. Le Guin's A Wizard of Earthsea, first published in 1968. In the novel and in this song, eventually with the aid of his dear friend Vetch, true name Astariel, Ged pursues the shadow that he accidentally summoned in a moment of arrogance and hubris, an elusive presence that has been haunting him ever since. This is True Names.
Over the roar of the sea, under the gaze of the stars, I let the jealousy take root, carried rage in my heart, played the air between my hands without an orchestra to lead, until the darkness split asunder and unleashed a faceless dream. I was frightened of leaving and desperate to be gone, pursued by something formless, relentlessly alone. Restless whispers sang to me, on restless wings they came. Seek that which seeks you, everything has a name. Until this, I was nothing. Until this, I was nothing. I was a shadow. I was a shadow. On the mirror of the sea, under the gaze of the stars, will you bear witness to this, faithful Astariel, and gather my remains if to doubt myself succumbs? Youth is so impatient, it is the learning that is long. You knew better than anyone. Its likeness is my own. Two voices are one voice, both speaking my name. I am the shadow. I am the shadow.
track 7. This track is one of John's, and he describes it as having a full-on funky groove to go with our full-on funky drummer. The title, which came first for me, is a phrase I've borrowed from Nick Cave's interview for the BBC programme This Cultural Life, in which he described certain people and events in his life as the radical engines that drive his creativity. It took a while for the lyrics to take shape, and the verses do reflect a kind of writer's block, but I knew I always wanted a French spoken word chorus for this one. With the help of my friend Damien Lemarchand, I avoided any major language faux pas and came up with lines that translate to English roughly as, let's create, let's sing, face fear, give birth, be authors. I view this chorus as an anthem for us as a band, given the obstacles we've each had to overcome and the individual and collective commitment and courage we've had to muster in order to put this album together. This is Radical Engines. John describes this next track as a nod to the awesome band Fun Lovin' Criminals following our UK and European support dates with them, and in honour of their friendship and encouragement. I must admit that my heart sank when I heard the vocal guide John had put down for this track. I don't think he drew a breath in over 5 minutes, and very possibly had forgotten that it wouldn't be FLC's fast delivering the goods. However, the flow lends itself really well to storytelling, so it's a story that emerged. Here is Such a Diffident Child.
She was underneath the table, her inscrutable expression like the moral to a fable showed that little acts of kindness are never to be wasted, but the little acts of cruelty can still be more persuasive. As I reached for her, she hid her face behind her hair, disappearing in the edgeless silhouette of neither here nor there. For what felt like eternity, she didn't say a word. In time she must have learned to turn the violence that she heard into something like a comfort, into pieces of the truth. If he is hitting her, at least he isn't hitting you. For if daddy's only doing this because he really loves you, then with enough conviction it becomes another muscle. It gets impossible to undo. When the voices stopped, she had no means to exercise her demons, no lexicon to turn them into adult thoughts and feelings, so she took the blame and used the pain to bring the numbness back. The cutting was a radiance, illuminating cracks in the pattern she knew off by heart, but never could make sense of for her own protection. She was busy building, crisscrossing fences.
God knows what is inside the mind of such a diffident child. The layers of all possible lies are the loneliest disguise.
The summer she was 14, she was held down by a friend. She knew it wasn't normal, they decided to pretend. He that she was up for it, she that this was home, so she faked that she was passed out and the next day on her phone the knives were at her profile. Can you believe this slut? She felt the words tear into her, 1,000 little cuts at the corners of her mouth that never healed, but was always shut. When the tightness finally barreled like a train into her brain, obliterating everything except the sense of shame. She didn't take a test and she didn't see a doctor. When she looked into the mirror, was it her? Was it not her? Reflecting what had shattered, the truth no longer mattered. When they found her in a corner, looking like a doll without a heartbeat, barely there, unidentifiable, the truth no longer mattered. Existence is a question folding in upon itself, a nautilus of silence too profound to open up. The final time I saw her, she was lying on a table where the lines upon her torso, like the moral to a fable, were simple and instructive, a tale within the hurt. I had something to say, if only you had listened, if only you had heard.
God knows what is inside the mind of such a diffident child. The layers of all possible lies are the loneliest disguise. God knows what is inside the mind of such a diffident child. The layers of all possible
Track 9. Alan was the composer of this track, and we're very excited to let you know that it's due to be remixed by Keith Shockley of Public Enemy. Alan says that it started out with a rowdy double octave synth riff before morphing into a proper pop song. The lyrics were inspired by Ralph Yarl, an African-American teenager from Kansas City, Missouri, who in April 2023 was shot in the head by an older white man after going to the wrong house to pick up his brothers from a play date. His story feels shocking, but is of course not unusual in my birth country. It is only the shootings that have something different about them that seem to make an impression within the media, let alone make their way into overseas news. And in this case, I suspect it was largely the fact that Ralph Yarl, unlike so many others, survived. As I said earlier, this track features our sole guest musician on the album, the New York-based hip-hop artist and high school assistant principal Cassandra Jackson, whose stage name is Half Pint and whose voice and words bring urgency and authenticity to the message behind them. Here she is on 115th Street.
I pledge allegiance to my people, we fight till we're equal. If all lives matter, we must take a stand. Or live on your knees, protect the black man. Protect the black man.
Dreaming, joyful, music in each stride. He climbs the porch and clears his throat with pride. Imagines how the carefree twins
track 10. Jamie took the lead on this next song and says that he wanted something experimental that builds up and ascends from major to minor, goes around on a journey twice, and then ends with equilibrium. The original demo sounded a bit like an Enigma song from the 1990s, though, he adds. Nothing wrong in that, but I'm glad we went in the direction we did with it. Although I've lived in the UK for the past 25 years, my roots and values were grown and nourished in the United States of America. The lyrics of this song, while, like all of them, hopefully open to your own interpretation, are my response to the US Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, and everything that this event, and the circumstances surrounding it, signifies for both the specific and wider-reaching erosion of women's rights. The titular Cassandra refers to the Greek myth, specifically the version where it is as a result of rejecting Apollo's unwanted sexual advances that Cassandra is cursed with the gift of prophecies that are never believed. Track 11. Alan brought this funky riff to the table and married it with a contrasting pre-chorus, and John laid down a wonky horn line for the reception party. The final two tracks, lyrically speaking, look to the power of words and music to soothe and heal. This one is based on a series of daily haiku-like poems that I wrote in response to the dictionary Merriam-Webster's online Words of the Day, and that's why it's called Small Syllables.
It's trivial in the realm of life's hard work, but each small syllable in turn strives to alleviate the burden of thoughts of meaning. The question of what melancholia follows on from bliss and what bliss abandons melancholia, blind behind its carceral shroud. So when the thoughts themselves burn too brightly to grasp as sharp as shards, let the sound and cadence come, the ever-turning wheel. Hold your wounded hands against my heart and feel. Though trivial, here's a dilatory embrace to ease the pain, the hungry audience of doubt. The burden of thoughts of being, the question of what melancholia remembers of bliss. When the thoughts themselves burn too bright, burn as sharp as shards, hold your heart and feel how words can thrum, how they ache with blood and song. Let the sound and cadence come, the ever-turning wheel. Hold your wounded hands against my heart and feel. When the thoughts themselves hold you too tight, beholden you to love lost, sing the doubt and feel how words can soothe, how they ache with blood and truth. Let the sound and cadence come, the ever-turning wheel. Hold your wounded hands against my heart and feel.
Track 12. Alan is the visionary behind this, the final track on our album, which is called Listen. It began as an improvisational loop, and the guitar motif in the chorus was originally intended as the vocal melody. Alan has the great honor of having had 2 of his songs selected by rap and hip-hop legend Keith Shockley for a remix, this being the second. Lyrically, we find ourselves in the album's familiar territory of ruminations on the passage of time, shifting identities, reflections, and connections. But the music is so sweetly lilting and optimistic that there was only one line with which we could end the track and the album. Wherever there is music, there is hope. Thank you for listening.
Listen.